Hi, my name is Emmanuel Gheorghe, and in the next few minutes, you will experience a mental reprogramming technique that can help you eliminate fears, anxiety, emotional blocks, and limiting beliefs instantly. And over 20,000 people have already tested this method in the last few years, and everyone have seen instant results.
I used to have anxiety when walking on a street, and I don't feel that anymore. I used to be terrified on going on a flight. I don't feel that anymore. I somehow manage it with the reprogramming your subconscious mind method to release them.
I released fears that used to control me. Fear of failure, of the future, fear of missing out, of being seen, judged, or criticized. What I love the most is that now I use it like a tool. It became a natural part of my life.
So if you have been dealing for a long time with certain fears, anxiety, financial blocks, or you simply feel that for too long you have been stuck at the same level and no matter what you do, you cannot reach your full potential or the next level of success, then this technique in the subconscious reprogramming might be the answer for you. And today in this very video, I will help you experience it, not just talk about it. So let's begin. Over the past years, I've applied this technique in more than 150 public webinars, both online and in different cities around the world, and I work with tens of thousands of people in real time on private sessions together with my team of facilitators on different topics like fears, anxiety, traumas, low self-esteem, financial blocks, relationship difficulties, and almost every time people have had the same reactions at the end. I can't believe I don't have that fear or that negative emotion anymore.
I had my first reprogramming session with Emmanuel George, and something shifted instantly inside me. For the first time in my life, I felt emotionally free. No regret, no happiness, just peace, and just like unconditionally loved. It was like I finally found what I have been searching for my whole life.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good.
How intense it is the emotion in the stomach from 0 to 10?
I would say 3.
Okay, so it's been lowered from 6 to 3. How is the experience? How does it feel to not have those fears anymore?
It feels more light.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alex.
I felt like really a relief in my soul, and it's helped me a lot, and I will be happy to work more on myself now. Now I'm feeling much better, so from 9 it goes down to 2 or 3 even.
Because that's the part that surprises most of the people. The results appears instantly, not after months of therapy, not after years of working with themselves, but in just few minutes. And it doesn't matter if you have had a fear or trauma or an anxiety for 20 years every day. You will see that after we make these commands addressed to the subconscious mind, you will notice that you simply won't feel anything related to that topic or anything about that fear or that trauma anymore. It's impossible to think about it after we apply this technique. And this is the part that surprises most of the people in the recent years that created this very large community around the world, is the fact that you see the results instantly. And by the way, no one is allowed to buy anything from me until they see results and they are convinced that this technique works for them. And that's why you are here, just to experience it. There are already more than 2,000 students across the world who have learned this technique to apply it on themselves and on others. So this is not something that only I can do. I don't have special powers or anything like that. This is the method that anyone can learn with practice. And at this moment, there are more than 4,000 testimonials from people who have experienced this technique and decided to leave the testimonials that you can see on my social media platforms. And why is it important to change the subconscious mind? Because neuroscientists are affirming that you operate 97% of our lives from subconscious programs and beliefs, which means that 97% of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your vocabulary, of your behavior is repeating based on the subconscious memory that is in your subconscious mind. That's why most of the time when you try to change your life, and by changing your country, by changing your job or your social environment, you will see that you will have same results no matter what you do. And if you observe, most of the negative emotions that you feel daily are not new, are old emotions that are stored in your subconscious mind. So there is not somebody or a situation from the exterior that comes and put negative emotions inside of you. They just activate them from within you. And that's why it's important to reprogram that emotional memory and the mental programs so that you will be able to think positively, naturally, and you will be able to take different decisions and to improve your life from inside.
After this technique session, within 15 minutes, it went down to 4. I'm happy that I can breathe at least properly. It was so hard to breathe, sometimes feel heavy on my chest and having panic attacks, but now I'm much better within 15 minutes, and it helped me a lot.
I have hope. I feel like smiling.
I feel overwhelming joy of gratitude. It was amazing, my brother. I felt like my pineal gland spark. It's very powerful.
I mean, it feels good. I'm noticing it right now. Yeah, the command thing was standing out.
But before experiencing this technique, I want to share quickly my story and how I discovered and developed this technique. So my name is Emmanuel Gheorghe, I'm 33 years old, and at this moment in my life, I live an extraordinary, beautiful life. I have been emotionally and financially free for over 7 years already. I have amazing relationships. I travel the world. Right now speaking, I am in Bali, and I woke up every day with joy and enthusiasm, and I go to sleep with joy and enthusiasm. And I've reached a point in my life where I can let my mind think of any situation, past, present, future, and I simply don't feel any negative emotions anymore. And I call this emotional freedom. And there are weeks and even months where I literally don't experience any negative emotional state. And that's an incredible place to be. But my life wasn't always like this. I was born in Romania into a very complicated family environment where I experienced a lot of domestic violence and a lot of poverty. And I grew up with this deep belief that I don't deserve to live because my father used to tell me since a very young age that I was born by mistake and that he wished I never been born, and he often tell me to leave the house, and he was very aggressive towards me. Because of that environment, I lived with severe social anxiety until I was 26 years old. And I was bullied and humiliated in almost every social environment I was in. Even in primary school, I had major problems with attention and memory. I could barely remember the homework that the teachers were giving us because it was so extremely painful for me to stay present in my body due to the emotional traumas that I was carrying every day. It was very painful for me emotionally. And that anxiety followed me for years. And because I woke up spiritually since I was 13 years old, and I had some miraculous healings and some spiritual experiences, and I started to see the world very different. I understand that life is not really how the school, the religion, or the society is saying. And I started to read a lot of books about everything I could find about spirituality, about psychology, about personal development. And for many years, I lived with almost an extreme level of discipline. When I was living in London as a student, there were nights where I couldn't sleep at night if I knew that in that day I was not doing something very important and significant and meaningful to change and improve my life. And I was waking up every day for 6 years in a row, practicing different techniques and therapies and discipline and working on myself. And over the years, I tried perhaps almost everything that I could find about therapies and self-development, like years of EFT tapping, of Psyche or Theta healing, timeline healing, regressions, meditations, even ayahuasca I've done 24 times, and a lot of affirmations, manifestation exercise, writing every day on my journal, a lot of discipline every day for hours. And almost all the money I had was spent on courses, therapies, healers around the world because I was so desperate to overcome my anxiety and the traumas that was following me every day like a curse. And after many years of discipline and effort and personal development, I arrived at the honest conclusion that most of the things are not working. And I noticed also that the people around me were doing exactly the same. They were reading books, they were doing a lot of therapies, working on themselves, trying to live consciously, but after many years they were still at the same level, still facing same problems in their life and same difficulties. And even today, most of the clients that are coming to me are saying the same thing. You know, I've been working on myself for so many years, but I feel that I'm stuck at the same level. And I believe the biggest reason for that is that people don't measure and quantify the results. When you work with the subconscious mind, you have to be very pragmatical and to measure and to quantify the results always. And you will see today that we will measure and quantify the results, and you will see the transformation instantly. Because most of the people are doing what I used to do. Every day they repeat affirmations, they practice discipline, they do therapies, they try to force the positive thinking, energy healing. Yeah, they throw a lot of discipline, hoping that maybe one day their life will change. But it doesn't change because of hope. Life changes when you measure and quantify the results, because otherwise your subconscious mind will not change. And after working with over 20,000 people in the recent years, I realized something very interesting. Almost all of us have the same core fears and same limiting beliefs. So I created a very simple exercise that helps us identify exactly what's inside the subconscious mind. Because if we go from this statement that everything is controlled by the subconscious mind, the most rational thing to do is obviously to check what is inside the subconscious mind, to see the memory that is there and to see what mental programs there are. It's like when you go to the doctor, the first thing that you do is you do some analysis, you do some blood test, and then they give you the solution. So we're gonna work the same. And this is the list with main fears and limiting beliefs. And what you have to do is very simple. You have to see how intense and true it is every fear and every limiting belief on a scale of intensity from 0 to 10. So for example, today we're going to work on the fear of the future. So think about the fear of the future and see how intense and true it is, this fear for you on a scale of intensity from 0 to 10. And right next to each fear and limiting belief. And what you have to do if you want a long-lasting, powerful transformation in your life, if you want to reach your full potential and to achieve a higher level of success, you have to do just one thing. Make sure that you bring all of this list to 0. Even though it might seem like a huge list, even though it might seem like there are a lot of fears, you will see that the fears are connected to one another, and it's not an unlimited time that you have to work. But you have to start, because if another 6 months or 1 year have passed and all of these fears are at the same level, your life will be exactly the same. So this is a way to check and to measure always the results. Okay, and now I want to share how I discovered this technique. I have never done any course or any program in my life with the intention to make a career out of this field. Whatever I've done and practiced and studied was just to heal myself and overcome my blockages and my traumas. I finished the university in London as a business management teacher with the intention to overcome my social anxiety and not to become a teacher. And about 4 years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to a very basic form of this method. But what happened next was unexpected, because at that moment in my life, I was already emotionally and financially free. I was living an incredible life. You know, after so many years of discipline, I managed to reach that level of success. And basically, I have adapted this technique to my own understanding of how the subconscious mind works, and I began testing its full potential. And I started applying it on friends, on people around me. For example, once during Christmas, I met a stranger who came at an event where I was, and he was suffering very deeply after a breakup since few weeks. And within literally few minutes after I applied this technique, his emotional plane disappeared completely. And he looked at me and he said, "This is crazy. You know, I've been suffering for months after that breakup and I can't feel that pain anymore. Please teach me how you did this." And another time I worked with a woman who had lost her sense of smell for 23 years after a traumatic childhood event. And after we released that trauma, her sense of smell returned, and she later went on Facebook Live crying with joy for literally 3 days in a row, smelling different things around the house and sharing how incredible was the experience, and that she healed herself and her sense of smell regained. And stories like this started to happen again and again, and at some point it was a huge wave of people coming and telling me, "Please help me, please help me." So I decided to actually make a course and to teach people how to do this, because obviously I wasn't able humanly to help everyone. And over the last 3 years, I dedicated my time and my life helping people apply this method and learning this method. But right now, I'm not asking you to believe anything. I just want you to experience this technique yourself. So this is how the mental reprogramming works in 3 simple steps. The first step is to identify what you want to reprogram. It can be a fear, it can be a negative emotion, it can be a trauma, it can be a limiting belief. Then we measure how intense it is from 0 to 10, as you've seen on that list. Because we never use this technique chaotically, yeah? We always measure before and after, so we can clearly see the change. And the second step is to make a verbal commands. We use these verbal commands because the subconscious mind does not respond to affirmations, to positive thinking, to intentions, but it responds to commands. This is something you must experience in order to understand. And if you do some research, you will see that many people are talking about this idea about commanding to the subconscious mind. For example, even Tony Robbins speaks about giving commands to the subconscious mind. And even Neville Goddard was talking about this topic 100 years ago, and he wrote a book about commanding to the subconscious mind. And what I developed is a very simple and direct and official protocol that works in just a few minutes with measurable, predictable results always. And the third step is to measure the results again. We measure the results in the beginning, we apply the commands, and then we measure the results at the end. And that's why we can clearly see the change always. And in this remote session that you are about to experience right now, we're gonna use actually 2 techniques. The first one, obviously, we're gonna use the mental reprogramming technique, where I will give certain commands to the subconscious mind to release negative emotions and certain programs, fears, and beliefs. And at the same time, doing this exercise, we will use a body position that helps us with entering a deeper state of relaxation and focus. This posture is called the whole brain posture, and it's very simple. What you need to do is to cross your arms and legs, and I will show you in a moment. And all you have to do is simply just cross your arms and legs like this. Just put your hands one on the top of the other. It doesn't matter which one over which one, and cross them like this, yeah? And then rest them between your legs in this position. And then the next step is to cross your legs. It doesn't matter, once again, which leg over which one, and just stay in this position throughout the exercise. And ideally is to sit on a chair or a couch with your back supported, yeah, with your spine relatively straight. It is not recommended to lay down because you might fall asleep. And you can close your eyes, stay relaxed in this position. Several studies showed that when you stay in this position, in this whole brain posture, basically the hemispheres of your brain will synchronize and you will go into a deeper state of meditation. Even if you never meditated before, this position can help you enter a deeper state of inner calm very quickly. Normally, when we apply this mental reprogramming technique, it is not mandatory to sit in this position, and it is not mandatory to enter a meditative state for the mental reprogramming technique to work. You will see that when you learn to practice this mental reprogramming technique on yourself, you don't need to stay in this position. But when you listen to the recorded sessions, you can stay in this position. So now take a deep breath and let's start the practice. So if you want to experience this mental reprogramming technique and release a negative emotion or a fear, I invite you to be as present as possible during the next few minutes. Close your social media, yeah, pause any other distractions, and give yourself a few minutes just for this. Yeah, it's going to take about less than 10 minutes to experience it. So take a deep breath and let's begin. To make this exercise clear and as relevant as possible for everyone, today we're going to work on a very common subject, which is the fear of the future. And this fear of the future creates actually a lot of anxiety, a lot of mental unrest, emotional tension, and they greatly reduce the quality of life. Even if we don't always realize it, this fear of the future is constantly running in the background of our mind. You know, that mental conversation that what if this will happen, what if that goes wrong? So that's why it's important to reprogram it. And now I want you to think about this fear of the future. And notice what emotional reactions appears in your body when you think about it. Maybe it's a small tension, yeah, maybe it's a feeling of restlessness, maybe it's an anxiety or a worry. Notice where you feel that negative emotion in your body right now. Maybe you feel it in your chest, maybe you feel it in your stomach, maybe you feel it in your throat, in your shoulders. Yeah, it's very important to identify the emotion and the fear clearly so that you have a point of reference to see how you feel it in the beginning and how you feel it after we reprogram it. And if you were to measure your fear of the future on a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is very small and 10 is the highest that it can be, what number would you say it is right now? Notice what number it is and remember it. This is our reference point. And at the same time, continue to think about the fear of the future, about those worries, about those thoughts related to the fear of the future, and observe the emotions that appears in your body. Now I will make commands to release those negative emotions and the fears that you have related to the fear of the future. So take a deep breath, keep your arms and legs crossed. You can use headphones if you have for a better experience. Close your eyes and let's begin. Take a deep breath. Relax your body. I command that the belief and program I am afraid of the future to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am excited about my future and I feel safe. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program I am afraid of change and the unknown, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I'm excited about changing and the unknown and I feel always safe no matter what's happening in my life. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program I will fail and lose everything, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I will succeed and I always succeed in everything. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program I am afraid something bad is going to happen in my life, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that good and positive things are happening always in my life and I feel safe. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all the emotions and sensations you feel right now into your head, like an overwhelmed, mental confusion, pressure, headache, hypervigilance, tension, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, clarity. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all of this negative emotion and sensation you feel right now into your throat, like a knot, like a tightness, like a suppressed anger, powerlessness, fear of speaking, and tension, and all the conflicts for which you feel and have all of this negative emotion and sensation right now into your throat, like a lump, tightness, suppressed anger, powerlessness, fear of speaking, tension, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, fulfillment, and courage. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all of this negative emotion and sensation you feel right now into your chest, like a heaviness, grief, sadness, panic, tightness, anxiety, and all the conflicts for which you feel and have all of this negative emotion and sensation right now into your chest, like a heaviness, grief, sadness, panic, tightness, anxiety, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, fulfillment, and courage. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all of this negative emotion and sensation you feel right now into your solar plexus area, like an anxiety, fear, inner tension, restlessness, loss of control, and all the conflicts for which you feel and have all of this negative emotion and sensation right now into your solar plexus area, like an anxiety, fear, inner tension, restlessness, loss of control, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, fulfillment, and courage. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all of this negative emotion and sensation you feel right now into your stomach, like an emptiness, guilt, anger, nausea, emotional discomfort, and all the conflicts for which you feel and have all of this negative emotion right now into your stomach, like an emptiness, guilt, anger, nausea, emotional discomfort, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, fulfillment, and courage. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all of this negative emotion and sensation you feel right now into your shoulders, back, and your whole body, like a burden, stress, tension, helplessness, fatigue, and all the conflicts for which you feel and have all of this negative emotion and sensation right now into your shoulders, back, and your whole body, like a burden, stress, tension, helplessness, fatigue, and suffering, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with happiness, joy, power, fulfillment, and courage. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. And take a few deep breaths in, keep your eyes closed, keep your arms and legs crossed, and continue to think about this fear of the future. See what emotional reactions you have right now, and let your mind dwell into those negative thoughts and emotions that you have related to the fear of the future. Take another deep breath, and let's continue. I command that the belief and program, I don't have enough money and resources to survive, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I have enough money and resources to survive and I feel safe. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I will make bad decisions, I make bad decisions, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I make good decisions always and I am happy. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I am afraid of pain and suffering, I am in pain and suffering, I command to be taken from you and send it to the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am safe, I am happy and full of joy always. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I am powerless, I command to be taken from you and send it to the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am powerful and I feel strong and happy. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I am afraid of my future, I command to be taken from you and send it to the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am excited about my future and I am happy. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I am judged and criticized by others, I am afraid of being judged and criticized, I command to be taken from you and sent into the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am loved and respected by everyone always. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that the belief and program, I am not loved and appreciated, I command to be taken from you and send it to the universal consciousness along with all the memories and roots and be replaced with the belief that I am loved and appreciated always. I command that this change takes place now and forever into your consciousness and in all the levels of your existence. I command that all the receptor centers for the old beliefs, emotions, and programs of you to close and to open new receptor centers for the new beliefs, emotions, and programs. And take a few deep breaths in. And let's see how you feel. You can open your eyes slowly. You can uncross your arms and legs and take a few more deep breaths. You should be able to feel the change usually in 1 minute after we make the commands. Right, so now think about the fear of the future. Remember how intense it was in the beginning, remember how you felt it in the beginning, and see how intense it is right now on a scale of intensity from 0 to 10. It's once again very important to measure and quantify the results before and after. And if you have seen results right now, in the next few minutes I will show you how you can have access to more such recorded sessions in our program.